I can confirm that both the lake and my face are partially frozen. Hey everyone, it's your friendly neighborhood yogi Nivi. I'm a little shy. I had a really long introduction in mind for today's video, but I'm going to keep it short and say that for context, I fractured a rib while traveling. I do not recommend it. The fracture, not traveling. If you have the time, the headspace, and the resources to travel, definitely do it. Earlier this year, I was reading this book called Swimming in the Sink by Lynn Cox. Cox is an amazing athlete, and at a certain point in her life, she develops this condition seemingly out of nowhere. And in this book, she describes her recovery, all the things that she learned when she found her abilities reduced to a fraction of what they used to be. And that kind of got me thinking into what my injury taught me. Now that I've had some time to reflect on that incident and the period that followed, here are my takeaways. Also, if you stick around till the end of the video, we're going to practice a quick meditative posture together. The first key takeaway is that support groups come in all forms and shapes. Growing up, I used to think that I was strongest when I didn't need emotional support. I couldn't have been more wrong. I mean, it might be possible, but life is just richer when you're surrounded by people with whom you can be yourself, you can be vulnerable, and you can ask for support, emotional support, or any other kind of support that you need from them. For me, this was my parents, my friends from different settings. For instance, my friends from the time that I was working full-time, friends that I'd made while backpacking in India for 6 months. This also includes my yoga people, the people with whom I formed really strong connections with when I did my first yoga teacher training course. And surprisingly, this also includes my clients. When I was not able to work, when I was bedridden because of my injury, I wrote to my clients to say that it was going to take me a couple of weeks to even sit upright to work, and that I would understand if they wanted to give the projects to someone else to complete. And to my surprise, all of them wrote back to say that they were willing to pause the project so that I could continue working on them. And it was amazing. Most of my community or communities are rarely in the same physical space as me. But they were there for me when I really needed them, and they're here for me now, reminding me that it's okay to take things slow if it means that I'm going to recover fully and not have to deal with any residual pain for years. And the reason that my support groups had to remind me of this, because I really had to start practicing mindful movement. Movement has always been a way for me to feel better. If I'm overwhelmed, I go on a very long and very brisk walk. Might as well call it a jog at this point. If I'm feeling low on spirits, I practice asanas or pranayama or go for a swim. Of course, I do these activities when I'm happy and content too, but they're truly my way out of my own head. So when I couldn't do the most basic activities, like I couldn't even bend down to pick something up, I felt like I was stripped of the main tools that I needed, that I knew how to use, the tools that I needed to live. And during my recovery, when I could move, I did too much, which ended painfully. So now I'm learning how to use this tool more mindfully. I can practice asanas for 30 minutes today, maybe just stretch and warm up my joints. And tomorrow I can do a 90-minute practice with headstands and balancing on one leg and whatnot. The aim for me is to tune into what I need in this moment. And if I've set a goal for a week or a month from now, how can I align it with that goal? This is important because progress isn't linear. I'm acknowledging that my body is capable of so much, that it has already healed a lot. And also that what I'm able to do doesn't look or feel the same every day or even in the same day. You can try this out for yourself. Try a movement in the morning in the first hour of waking up. Maybe a simple shoulder rotation like this one. Try it again in the evening. Since we're moving through the day, our body might be more warmed up and feel less stiff in the evening. Similarly, on days that I feel differently because of where I am on my cycle, for instance, certain movements become inaccessible or more accessible. What it means is that I am not permanently good or bad at something. So I'm also looking at other ways to assess my progress. And one of those is breathing. In the months following the fracture, I couldn't take deep breaths, I couldn't laugh. In fact, I remember being in the ER joking with the doctors there. And one of the doctors said that if I wanted my rib to heal fully and properly, that I should be less of a jokester and not take deep breaths, because all of these laughing and taking deep breaths were painful. I made a whole video about the benefits of breathing on and off the mat, which you can watch. I'm going to leave a link for this video in the description, and when you watch it, I would love to know what resonated with you. Another key takeaway for me is that rest is productive. Most of my adult life I've been driven by productivity, which essentially means that I don't know when to take breaks, and I've come close to a burnout quite a few times. I briefly spoke about this in another video that I made last week, which I'm also going to link in the description. It's a very short video. Rest can be anything and it can be nothing. I now know that I can perform better when I'm mindful of when my battery is low and take that time off to just relax, rejuvenate, and then come back to doing whatever it is I want to do. Alright, now let's get to practicing a meditative pose called Vajrasana or Thunderbolt or Diamond pose. We begin by kneeling, placing the top of your feet flat on the mat. Then rest your hips wherever you reach. Sitting up straight, place your palms on your knees or your thighs, wherever you can reach naturally. Chin tucked in so that your neck is relaxed. The aim is to eventually meditate in the pose, so you want to get as comfortable as you can. Use a towel under your ankles if you need to. Separate your knees and feet so you can sit on a block or cushion if that feels more comfortable. You will feel yourself settling into this posture. Now let's take some deep breaths here. Inhale and allow your chest to expand forward and to the sides. Exhale completely, pushing all of the air out. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Continue for as long as you need. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, relate to something I said, let me know in the comments.